Bett, bass fishing at its best. Is proudly brought to you by Josini Tiger Lodge, the Kariba of South Africa. With the rain not subsiding by mid-morning, anglers continue to battle the wet conditions. The fishing has been better than expected, with a few limits having been reported. No exception and winners of last month's event, Team Kistler, currently 11th on the logs, fishes the edge of a drop-off near the ridge, as we join Howard Johnson, who fishes solo today.
It's been a pretty good morning so far. When I got to my spot, there was already 3 boats on it, so that was not cool. So I moved a little bit further down the bank. As I was going over a small point with some fairly big boulders on it, I saw fish sitting on top of the boulders, and then I knew it was on. So I was throwing a watermelon red soft jerk bait, and I'd spiked the tail yellow, or chartreuse. And by 8 o'clock I was culling off. It's now around about 10. I think I've taken 28 fish already today, so it's been a really good day. I think my bag's around about 7.5 kilos. So it's been a good start. I'm really happy at the moment. What we're doing now is I've come off to the edge of the drop-off on the ridge, and I'm looking for one fish that can just lift my bag weight up nicely. So hold thumbs and see if we can't go and find it quick. I lost a very big fish here last weekend, probably between 4 and 5 kilos. So we'll come back to see if he's still here, because that will really help the bag. So what's happened is we've got 2 stages of the spawn at the moment. We've got those that want to go and spawn, and those that are already looking for areas to bed. And those bedding areas, I think, based on what's happened this morning, are about, I'd say probably about between 10 and 12 foot. And your signs that you're looking for is when you start catching your little bass, 500-600 gram fish, those are your buck bass. And you'll see sometimes they get red eyes, and when you catch them, they wee. And that means that those fish are ready. They're already moving into the areas, starting to fan out areas with their tails to make their nesting areas. And if you just keep plugging away, you hopefully will find a female knocking around somewhere as well, also looking to move up. That's not really what we're looking for. A little male. I'll show you what I was saying about the red eyes. These eyes are red. We're looking for somewhere to make nests.
As the bass prepare for spawn, let's take a look at the McChrystal Insurance Brokers tournament conditions. Weather conditions: windy and raining. Air temperature 10 to 21 degrees Celsius. Water temperature 14 to 16 degrees Celsius. Water conditions: slight green tinge with visibility of around 1.5 meters. Average depth of catches 5 to 10 feet. Regrettably, the weather for today is favouring couch surfing rather than bass fishing. The rain may have stopped, but the dark horizon indicates more is on the way. Nevertheless, teams push on as they fish through the late morning lull, a result of the fluctuating barometric pressures. Having had a reasonable morning bite and currently 14th, Team Farm Services now try their luck fishing a rock-laden bank near the campsites.
Looks like this change in the temperature and weather now has changed everything around, so we need to find a new pattern. But this morning was much better. There were a lot of fish around. The pre-fish was a bit warmer, eh?
Yeah, it was much warmer.
Midday the sun was actually off.
But the difference is the water temperature now.
Yeah.
When we pre-fished, the water was about 2 degrees colder.
Now it was what? It was on 12 degrees, huh?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, 4 degrees difference.
4 degrees colder.
The water's warmed up a lot now.
It's warmed up a lot. I think it's the last week's weather. It's quite hot. It's warmed the water up.
Yeah, we actually had to change the whole pattern again and start scratch. Find something else. But the spot that we basically found last week, the fish were there. We just had to change it, the bait, which was good. We caught the fish on plastic. Zaire caught on a weightless fluke, and he missed one on the jig. I think he was sleeping, so he's still trying to warm up, I think. So he owes me one. Yes.
That's the one we were waiting for. Sure.
That's the same fish that took me just now.
Is it?
Currently third and fighting for the top spot, Cole and Johan of Team Evinrude Rapala also fish a bank near the campsites. With 5 average fish in the well, Cole recaps their morning.
It's been good for us. So we started on a little section of foundations, old house foundations on the ridge this morning, and our plan was to go there because we found some nice fish there in practice. And we went there, and for some reason that we couldn't get any bites there, so we left. We went to another little stretch of bank up, quite close to the river. It's got a lot of these pebbles on it, and what we found when we were practicing is that when the warm wind was blowing in there, and that was one of the warmest areas of the dam, and we ended up finding quite nice fish on that little section as well. And we went there this morning, and fortunately found them right on the bank. They were in like 2 or 3 foot. The water temperature had come up maybe 4 or 5 degrees. It was actually 65 degrees Fahrenheit. So the conditions were perfect, and we managed to get our limit there quite quickly. We got 5 fish, actually 6 fish there, and they were all probably around 1 kilo, and then it went dead. So we'll leave it for a bit later, maybe go back in there again, see if we can up our bag. But it's on a whole, it hasn't been bad. We just all of our fish they're all probably around 1 kilo, but we want to try and cull out 1 or 2 and have at least a 1.5 or 2 kilo in our bag to try and bump our weight up a bit. The bait that we used in the last bet, we did quite well out on the ridge. We've been using exactly the same thing up on the rocks in the river, as well as this little jerk bait, and that's produced quite a lot of fish for us. The fish are quite fat, so I don't think they want very big bulky baits.
Moving towards the dam wall and fishing the main set of trees, we join Kelvin and Kelvin of Team Kelvin and Kelvin. So Kelvin, what's news?
Started off well. Got a bit quiet since it's got colder.
We couldn't find any decent crankbaits. So I found this one old one at the bottom of his hatch there. It had broken hooks in there, and I thought, hey, I've got to throw a crank. So I put this crank on. I thought, oh God, it's got broken hooks as well. So let me just throw this thing out here. I threw it out, and the thing sank like a sinker. So we thought, nah, this is useless. 3 reels bang, and this thing eats me. And we're fighting it towards the boat. I'm going, Kelv, it's a monster. He gets the net, poof, the thing comes off. I go, oh my God, I've lost it. Bang, and it's on again. I think it was his partner though. This fish is called TNT for Tallulah and Tabitha. And for John and the boys going overseas, may yours be a lot colder. Now this is a greedy lady. This is is when the fat lady sings. Would be very nice if we got another 2 of those, we'd be back in.
Bett is proudly brought to you by McChrystal Insurance Brokers, an authorised financial service provider.